So again po, kung pinapadraft kayo ng order, kung pinapa-submit kayo ng plan tungkol sa isang programang importasyon, ibig sabihin, posibleng aaprubahan ito. And ibig sabihin, sa meeting sa araw na yon, favorable yung pagtingin, o at least open, hindi opposed. Tama po ba yon?
You're correct, Your Honor.
And sasabihin niyo po ba yon pareho tungkol kay Presidente at kay ES, na at that point in time, pareho silang open or even pabor sa importation?
I did not hear any objection, Your Honor, at that point.
Okay. No objection din. So, just to exhaust that point, Mr. Serafica, may dahilan naman po ba kayo para maniwala na yung 300,000 metric ton importation, so let's talk about the numbers na, let's talk about the volume. Did you have reason to believe that the 300,000 metric ton importation was a go from Malacanang? O baka naman may indications na ayaw sa ganong amount, pero pinilit nyo pa rin?
At that point, Your Honor, there was no volume on August 1.
Okay.
There was no volume talked about, Your Honor.
So pero as this, sabi nga ni ES nung unang hearing, fiasco unfolded, at any point in time, did you have reason to believe na may go signal from Malacanang on the 300,000 metric ton volume?
As I said, Your Honor, there was no volume talked about on August 1.
What about August 4 po?
On August 4, it was reiterated again on the importation plan. During that time, we had already figures because we had a meeting with the stakeholders on July 29, where we presented the facts of the situation on the tightness of the supply and the rising prices, prevailing prices in the market. So the stakeholders were requested to submit on or before August 3 their recommendations.
And did they po, at ano yung, and tama po ba Mr. Serafica, from July 29, meeting with stakeholders, hanggang submission deadline nila ng August 3, wala sa mga stakeholders ang nag-object sa importation? Tama po ba?
Wala po.
Wala. And did they have anything to say about the volume of importation?
Actually, almost all of them recommended 300,000 metric tons volume
Okay,
to be
almost-
imported, Your Honor.
Almost
Senator
all.
Hontiveros,
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Your time has lapsed. With the permission of Senator JB, are you willing to give a sufficient time to Senator Hontiveros to finish her question?
Yeah, yes, Mr. Chairman. Let us let Senator Hontiveros finish her questioning.
You may proceed.
Maraming salamat, Sen. Ejercito at Mr. Chair. I'll just wrap up on this question for now. So almost all the stakeholders, former Administrator Serafica, na meeting nyo nung July 29, I presume nag-submit sa inyo by on or before the deadline of August 3, almost all agreed not only on the importation but on the 300,000 metric tons number, volume.
That's correct, Your Honor.
And lastly, at this point in time, bakit? Quickly, ano yung mga pinaka-importanting facts na pinag-usapan nyo with the stakeholders on July 29? About supply, about price, kung ano man. What were the most important facts na almost all the stakeholders agreed to importation and agreed to it, to the volume of 300,000 metric tons? Ano yung basis nito?
When we presented the supply and demand, it was indicated in the slides, in the presentation, Your Honor, of the Regulations Department during the time. And they saw the deficit, the estimated deficit towards the end of August. And likewise, also, this concerns about the raw sugar, and likewise on the refined sugar. The SRA, Your Honor, has complete data on the facts of our demand, average demand for the last 3 crop years as far as raw sugar is concerned and as far as refined sugar is concerned.
Alright.
So they realized upon seeing all of this that they recommended almost the same, 300,000 metric tons.
Alright. So, in fact, tama po ba, former Administrator Serafica, na yung lang nag-disagree sa importation of 300,000 metric tons was Delmax Trading. At yung proposal nila was a lesser, is that slightly lesser amount of 250,000 metric tons. So, na actually near unanimous. This fact would validate yung sinabi nyo na near unanimous. Kaya nahihiwagaan talaga ako, former Administrator Serafica, no? What happened on the sidelines? I'll leave it at this point, Mr. Chair, saying only na talagang nahihiwagaan ako, Mr. Chair, kasi why the subterfuge? Nalaman ba talaga sa website lang? O sinabi personally na why send signals na pabor sa importasyon, hindi nag-object, tapos babawiin pala, despite the fact of this near unanimity among the stakeholders based dun sa sinasabi ni Mr. Serafica na facts from the SRA, yung average demand natin in the last 3 crop years, projection nila na estimated deficit by end of this month, bukas, Mr. Chair, both in raw and refined sugar, at siguro yung ano yung magiging shortfall. Hence, possibly, no, we'll establish that in this hearing. Kaya yung 300,000 metric tons. So, I'll suspend for now my interpellation. Salamat, marami, Mr. Chair.
We recognize the arrival of Senator Jinggoy Estrada. And before we let Senator J. De Ejercito proceed with his questions, may I remind Mr. Serafica that during the last hearing last week, I have here in my possession the transcript of stenographic notes on pages 138 to 139. You were asked by Senator Jinggoy Estrada the following, and your answers are reflected in the said pages. Senator Estrada, you were the one who drafted SO number 4. Mr. Serafica, yes, Mr. Chair. Next, sa makatuwid, ikaw ang mastermind. Hindi po kayo sumagot. Tinuloy po ni Senator Estrada. Anyway, you drafted this sugar order number 4. You never consulted any stakeholders. Am I right? Mr. Serafica's answer, we did, Mr. Chair. Having settled that, I will now ask Senator J. De Ejercito to proceed with his questions. You have the floor, Your Honor.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. First of all, Mr. Chair, I'd like to thank Senator President Zubiri for his privileged speech that opened the eyes of a lot of people regarding what is happening in the agricultural sector, particularly the sugar industry. Mr. Chair, I have something at stake here because being the author of the Sugarcane Industry Development Act of 2015 and the Anti-Agricultural Smuggling Law of 2016, medyo nalulungkot po ako. 6 years and 7 years have passed, Mr. Chair, after the passage of these two measures at para hong nabaliwala ang dalawang batas. First of all, the Sugarcane Industry Development Act, our goal is not only to enhance the competitiveness of the sugar industry and maximize the utilization of sugarcane resources, but more importantly, to improve the income of farmers, farm workers through improved productivity, product diversification, job generation, and increased efficiency of the sugar mills, and improve the farming methods. We are thinking of the more or less 84,000 farmers and 720,000 industry workers. That is for the Sugarcane Industry Development Act that is intended really to revitalize and stimulate the sugar industry once again, not only Negros and other sugar-producing provinces in the country. Alam niyo po, medyo bias po ako dahil ang nanay ko po ay taga Negros, kaya madalas po nakakausap ko mga planters, mga farmers at mga taga Negros. Ilang dekadang nahirapan na po ang sugar industry, kaya nga po ito po ay napagkasunduan. Ipinasa po namin to ni then Congressman Albi Benitez as my counterpart para nga po sa intensyon na buhayin ang sugarcane industry.